Good morning, students. Welcome back. I hope all of you are safe and fit at home, studying well and completing your work on time. This video is for the students of class 8, subject English. And in today's video, we are going to cover one chapter of our PC Wren's grammar book. This is our chapter number 24 and the name of the chapter is Transformation of Sentences. This is my lecture number 2 for the same chapter. This chapter is taken from PC Wren's grammar book. Students, we shall learn how to transform assertive sentences into exclamatory sentences, then assertive sentences to negative sentences, then negative sentences to assertive sentences, then assertive sentences to interrogative sentences, then transformation of sentences based on contrast or concession, then interchange of one part of speech with another in detail along with examples. At last, homework will be assigned. There are various ways of saying the same thing, yet we have to follow certain rules of grammar in order to maintain accuracy and clarity in what we wish to convey. The transformation of a sentence means changing its form without altering its sense, without changing its sense. Now, first of all, let us see what is the meaning of transformation of sentences. Sentences can be classified into affirmative, negative, imperative, interrogative, assertive or declarative, and exclamatory sentences. These sentences can be transformed into different form without changing the meaning of the sentence. This process is known as transformation of sentences. So let's get started. Let's see how to transform assertive sentences into exclamatory sentences. There are certain rules for that, as I have already explained you the meaning of assertive and exclamatory. So, rule number 1 is in exclamatory sentence, a very is replaced by what plus a or an articles, and these are used after verb and before adjective or adverb. So the structure will be like this: what plus a or an plus adjective or adverb plus extension. Extension means rest of the sentence plus subject plus verb, and at last you have to put exclamatory sign. So this will be your structure when you will convert assertive sentence into exclamatory sentence. So now let us see few examples to clarify it. Let us see how to convert assertive sentences into exclamatory sentences. As I have explained you that in the first rule, a very or great is there, then it will convert it into what plus a or an as per the word. So it is a very nice story. So the structure is subject plus verb plus a plus very plus adjective plus noun, or we can say extension. So when we will convert it into exclamatory sentence, so the sentence will be what a nice story it is, and at last exclamation sign. So the structure will be what plus a or an plus adjective or adverb plus extension means rest of the sentence plus subject plus verb. At last you have to put an then exclamation sign. So you have to keep one thing in your mind when you will convert assertive to exclamatory sentence. The subject and verb you have to place at the end, right? And whatever the word we will use in place of a very or great, you have to put in the beginning. Same with other examples also. It is a very interesting story book. So the sentence will be what an interesting story book it is. At last, exclamation sign. Number 3, it is a fine morning. So the sentence will be, what a fine morning it is. At last, exclamation sign. Number 4th sentence is, the boy is a great fool. So the sentence will be, what a fool the boy is. So whenever you are getting a very or a great in the sentence, in the assertive sentence, then when you will convert it into exclamatory sentence, you have to use what plus a or an, and then you have to follow the structure. Now let us see rule number 2. If we find the word very or great without a or an placed before very and great in assertive sentence, we will start writing exclamatory sentences with the word how. Means if we are getting a word, means if we are getting the sentence without a or an just before very or great, then we will start our sentence with how. So the structure of the exclamatory sentence will be how plus adjective or adverb plus extension, means rest of the sentence, plus subject plus verb, and at last you have to put exclamation sign. So keep one thing in your mind, when you will convert assertive sentences into exclamatory sentence, you have to put subject and verb at the end. So now let us see few examples to clarify it. Let us see first example. The flower was very nice. So as you can see that word very is not followed by article a or an. So when you are not getting a or an in assertive sentence with very or great word, so you have to start your exclamatory sentence with how. How nice the flower was, and at last exclamation sign. So you have to follow the structure which I have already explained to you. Same with other examples also. The morning was very cool yesterday. So the sentence will be how cool yesterday the morning was. Number 3, the boy is very tall. So the sentence will be how tall the boy is. Number 4, the scenery looks very nice. So the sentence will be how nice the scenery looks. At last exclamation sign. So you have to replace period, means you have to replace full stop with exclamation sign when you will convert assertive sentences from exclamatory sentences. Now let us see rule number 3. If we find the words I wish placed before subject in assertive sentence, we will start writing exclamatory sentences with the words if, or, oh, that. So the structure of exclamatory sentence will be if, or, oh, that plus subject plus verb plus extension, means rest of the sentence, and at last exclamation sign. So let us see an example to clarify it. Number 1, I wish I had the wings of a bird. So as you can see that the sentence, it is beginning with I wish, and here subject is I. So if you are getting I wish just before the subject, so it will replaced with if, or, oh, that in exclamatory sentence. If, or, oh, that I had the wings of a bird, at last exclamation sign. Now let us see rule number 4. If we find subject plus wish plus could in the assertive sentence, then if, or, would, that is used in exclamatory sentence. So the structure of exclamatory sentence will be would, that, or if plus subject plus could plus verb plus extension plus exclamation sign. So let us see an example to clarify it. Assertive sentences, we wish we could shift there. So as you can see, the structure is subject, we here plus wish plus could and rest of the sentence is there, then the sentence will converted in exclamatory sentence like this: would that or if we could shift there at last exclamation sign. Rule number 5 is, if we find phrase in assertive sentence, then phrase will replace with interjection as per the sense of the sentence in the exclamatory sentence. So let us see few examples to clarify it. Number 1, it is sad that he failed. So it is sad is here phrase, and this phrase will replace with interjection alas exclamatory sign he failed. You have to remove that word also. Number 2, it is matter of joy that he passed. So here the phrase it is matter of joy will replace with interjection hooray exclamation sign he passed. Number 3, it is matter of praise that you have done well. So it is matter of praise, this phrase will change with the interjection bravo, you have done well. So like this you have to change the phrase with the interjection as per the sense of the sentence when we will convert assertive sentences into exclamatory sentences. Students, remember one thing, we change or transform assertive sentences into exclamatory sentences when the assertive sentences have an action verb and an adverb of manner like beautifully, honestly, passionately, surprisingly, etc. But we don't change or transform assertive sentences into exclamatory sentences the same way when the assertive sentences don't have an adverb of manner. In such a case, simply replace the period with an exclamation mark. So let us see few examples to clarify it. She sings. Here no emotions. So when we will convert it into exclamatory sentence, so sentence will be she sings and at last we have to put exclamation sign. So expressing strong emotion may be the speaker is shocked or happy to say that. Now second example is we won the match. Here expressing no emotions. So the sentence will be we won the match, at last you have to put exclamation sign. So here expressing happiness. Now let us move to next transformation, that is transformation of assertive sentences to negative sentences. When you have to change it into negative to assertive, only what you have to do, you have to interchange the rules. That's it. So rule number 1 is, if we find the word always in assertive or affirmative sentence, we will write the word never instead of that word always and make opposite words of verb, adjectives and noun at the time of negative sentence. So the structure will be subject plus never, opposite verb plus extension means rest of the sentence, at last full stop. Or we can write down like this also, subject plus auxiliary verb plus never plus opposite verb or adjective adverb plus extension and at last full stop. So now let us see few examples to clarify it. Whatever structures I am telling you, you have to keep in your mind that when you will convert assertive sentences into negative sentences. So sentence is he was always punctual. So as I have told you that always will replace with never, and then you have to write down the opposite verb, adjective, adverb or whatever the noun is there, opposite word of that particular word you have to write, and then extension. So the sentence will be he was never late. Now the next sentence is I will always remember you. So when you will convert it into negative, so the sentence will be I will never forget you. So you have written the opposite word of remember also here. Now let us see third example. He is always present. So always will replace with never, and you have to write down the opposite word of present. So the sentence will be he is never absent. Now let us see fourth example. You should always speak the truth. So the sentence will be you should never tell a lie. Now let us see rule number 2. If we find the word sometimes in affirmative sentence, we will write the word not always instead of that word, that is sometimes, and make opposite word of verb, adjective and noun at the time of negative sentence. One thing more you have to keep in your mind, if your sentence it is in present simple tense or past simple tense, then you have to use verb do, does or did as per the person, as per the subject. Fine. So let us see few examples to clarify it. Number 1, he sometimes smoke. So the sentence will be he does not always smoke. So as you can see that we have changed the verb also as per the tense, and sometimes is interchanged with not always. Now let us see one more example. A scholar is sometimes wrong. So the sentence will be a scholar is not always right. So you have to interchange the verb, adjective and noun at the time of negative sentence. And you have to see the tense also. According to tense also you have to write down the verb. Now let us see rule number 3. If we find the word must in affirmative sentence, we will write the word cannot but or cannot help instead of that word, that is must, at the time of negative sentence. So let us see few examples to clarify it. Assertive sentence is we must love one another. So when we will change it into negative sentence, so the sentence will be we cannot but love one another. So this sentence can be written like this: we cannot help loving one another. Let us see one more example. You must listen to your teacher. So the negative sentence will be you cannot but listen to your teacher. Now let us see rule number 4. If we find the word have, has, had in affirmative sentence, means perfect tense, in affirmative sentence we will write the word haven't, hasn't, hadn't instead of that word has, have, had at the time of negative sentence. So let us see an example to clarify it. Affirmative or assertive sentence is they had left for France. So the negative sentence will be they haven't left for France. Let us see rule number 5. If we find the word every in affirmative sentence, we will write the word no or there is no instead of that word every and make opposite word of verb and adjective at the time of negative sentence. So let us see few examples to clarify it. Number 1 is everyone loves flowers. So when we'll convert it into negative sentence, so the sentence will be no one hates flowers. Now let us see one more example. Everyone loves him. So the sentence will be no one hates him. Or we can write down the same sentence like this also. There is no one who does not love him. Now let us see rule number 6. If we find the word only after that any person in affirmative sentence, we will write the word none but instead of that word only at the time of negative sentence. So let us see few examples to clarify it. Number one is only God can help us. So here God is person, right? So the negative sentence will be none but God can help us. Let us see one more example. Only he can do the sum. So the sentence will be none but he can do the sum. Now let us see rule number 7. If we find the word only after that anything in affirmative sentence, we will write the word nothing but instead of that word only at the time of negative sentence. So let us see few examples to clarify it. Number 1, only the moon was visible. So when we will convert it into negative sentence, so the sentence will be nothing but the moon was visible. Let us see one more example. I played only cricket. So the negative sentence will be I played nothing but cricket. Now let us see rule number 8. If there is no auxiliary verb in an affirmative sentence, then do verb will be used as auxiliary verb to make it a negative sentence. After do verb, not will be added and the opposite meaning of verb will used there. This do verb will be according to the tense of the verb of affirmative sentence. Then the structure of the negative sentence will be subject plus auxiliary verb, that is do form, plus not plus opposite verb plus extension. So let us see one example to clarify it. She remembered me. So here remembered word, it is showing us past simple tense. So when we will convert it into negative sentence, so the sentence will be she did not forget me. Now let us see rule number 9. If we find superlative degree, for example the best, in affirmative sentence, we will use no other instead of that word superlative degree, that is the best, at the time of negative sentence. So let us see an example to clarify it. Arun is the best boy in the class. So when we will make negative sentence of this, so the sentence will be no other boy in the class is as good as Arun. Now let us see rule number 10. If we find then any other or then all other in affirmative sentence, we will use no other instead of that word then any other, then all other at the time of negative sentence. So let us see an example to clarify it. Assertive sentence is Mumbai is bigger than all other cities in India. So when we will convert it into negative sentence, so the sentence will be no other city in India is as big as Mumbai. So here we have shown the comparison also by using as, big as, like this. Fine. So you have to write down no other in the beginning of the sentence. So this was all about that how we can change assertive sentences into negative sentences. So when you have to change negative into assertive, so you have to follow the same rules, only you have to interchange them. Now let us move to another transformation, that is transformation of assertive sentences to interrogative sentences. So first of all, let me clear you the meaning of assertive and interrogative sentence. An affirmative sentence makes a statement. An interrogative sentence is a sentence that asks a question. So there are certain rules to convert assertive sentences into interrogative sentences. So let us see rule number 1. If there is an auxiliary verb in the assertive sentence not added with the auxiliary verb and be placed before the subject in the interrogative sentence. So, the structure of the interrogative sentence will be auxiliary verb plus not plus subject plus extension means rest of the sentence plus at last you have to put question mark. So let us see an example to clarify it. You can touch the floor. So when we will convert it into interrogative sentence, so the sentence will be can't you touch the floor at last question mark. So if your assertive sentence is it in positive sense, then you have to change it into negative in interrogative sentence. If your assertive sentence in negative sense, then you have to change it into positive sense in interrogative sentence. So now let us see rule number 2. If there is no auxiliary verb in the affirmative sentence, change it by using do, does, did or did not, does not or didn't in interrogative sentence. So the structure of the interrogative sentence will be do form plus not or bare plus subject plus verb plus extension plus question mark. So let us see an example to clarify it. They played football yesterday. So as you can see that here you are not getting any auxiliary verb, but played word is showing that it is a past tense. So according to the tense we will use auxiliary verb. So the interrogative sentence will be didn't they play football yesterday at last question mark. So now let us see rule number 3. If the sentence is in the affirmative means positive, you have to change it into negative interrogative. If it is in negative, then you have to change it into bare interrogative means in positive. So let us see a few examples to clarify it. Number 1, he was very gentle. As you can see that the sentence is in positive sense. So when we will change it into interrogative sentence, so we have to use not. So we have to make negative sense. So the sentence will be wasn't he very gentle at last question mark. So let us see one more example. He is not a good person. So as you can see that this sentence is in negative form, negative sense it is giving. So when we will change it into interrogative, so we have to make positive sense. So the sentence will be is he a good person question mark. Now let us see rule number 4. If there is never used in the assertive sentence to make an interrogative sentence, do verb will be used as question word and never is replaced by ever. So the structure of the interrogative sentence will be do verb plus subject plus ever plus verb plus extension plus question mark. So let us see an example to clarify it. Assertive sentence is I never drink tea. So the interrogative sentence will be do I ever drink tea and then question mark. Now let us see rule number 5. If there is nothing used in the assertive sentence to make it interrogative sentence, sentence starts with auxiliary verb and nothing is replaced by anything. So the structure of interrogative sentence will be auxiliary verb plus subject plus verb plus anything plus extension means rest of the sentence plus question mark. So let us see an example to clarify it. Assertive sentence is there was nothing to do. So the interrogative sentence will be, was there anything to do? At last question mark. So now let us see rule number 6. If there is everybody, all, everyone used in the assertive sentence to make it interrogative sentence, everybody, all, everyone is replaced by who plus do form, do verb and not will have to add after the to do verb. So the structure of the interrogative sentence will be who plus don't, doesn't, didn't plus extension means rest of the sentence plus question mark. So let us see an example to clarify it. Assertive sentence is everybody wishes to be happy. So the interrogative sentence will be who does not wish to be happy. Now let us see rule number 7. If there is every plus noun used in the assertive sentence to make it interrogative sentence, every plus noun is replaced by any plus noun plus who, don't, doesn't, didn't. So the structure of the interrogative sentence will be auxiliary verb plus there plus any plus noun plus who, don't, doesn't, didn't plus extension means rest of the sentence plus question mark. So let us see an example to clarify it. Assertive sentence is every man. As you can see that with every you are getting one noun. Every man wishes to be happy. So the sentence will be, is there any man who does not wish to be happy at last question mark. So why we have used here is, as you can see that man is single, so that's why we have used here is auxiliary verb as per the person. So now let us see rule number 8. If you are getting there is no in assertive sentence, then it will be replaced by is there any or who or what plus verb in interrogative sentence. So let us see few examples to clarify it. Remember one thing, who is used for person and what is used for thing. And whenever you are converting assertive to interrogative sentence, so what you have to do, you have to place either auxiliary verb or WH family in the beginning of the sentence, and at last you have to put question mark. So the first sentence is, there is no man happier than Ram. So the interrogative sentence will be, who is happier than Ram at last question mark. Let us see one more example. There is no use of this law. So the sentence will be, what is the use of this law at last question mark. Let us see rule number 9. If you are getting it does not matter in assertive sentence, then it will be replaced by what, though, or does it matter in interrogative sentence. So let us see few examples to clarify it. Assertive sentence is, it does not matter if you fail in the exam. So the interrogative sentence will be, what though if you fail in the exam. Now let us see last rule, that is rule number 10th. If there is none or no one used in the assertive sentence to make it interrogative sentence, none or no one is replaced by who. Number 2, if there is none or no one used in the assertive sentence to make it interrogative sentence, sentence starts with auxiliary verb and none or no one is replaced by anyone. So the structure of the interrogative sentence will be of two types: who plus auxiliary verb plus extension plus question mark, or auxiliary verb plus anyone plus extension plus question mark. So let us see an example to clarify it. No one or none can do this. So the interrogative sentence will be who can do this question mark, or can anyone do this question mark. So like this, there are two ways you can change the same sentence into interrogative. So when you have to change interrogative to assertive, only you have to interchange the rules, interchange the structures. That's it. Students, so now we will learn how to transform a sentence expressing a concession or contrast between two sentences. Imagine that I have a sentence which is showing me some contrast. That means one part is going against something or is opposite to something expressed in another part of the sentence. I can use the words or conjunctions though or although in order to transform such sentences. Both have very similar meanings. They both mean in spite of something happen. So, the conjunctions though or although can be used to frame sentences expressing a contrast. So let us see an example to clarify it. Though David is strong, he could not lift the rock from the ground. So here the word though is expressing contrast between two sentences, two ideas. So this sentence means that in spite of being strong, David was unable to lift the rock from the ground. We can transform sentences to express a contrast by using though or although to retain the same meaning. For example, Tina tried to call him every day, but he never answered. So, the same sentence can be written with the help of although like this. Although Tina tried to call him every day, he never answered. Or we can write down the same sentence with the help of though. Though Tina tried to call him every day, he never answered. So now let us see use of preposition notwithstanding. We can use the preposition notwithstanding followed by a noun clause to express a contrast. So, the meaning of notwithstanding is similar to although but wider usage, means number of ways. So, let us see one example to clarify it. Notwithstanding the bad weather, they left for their road trip. So, this sentence means that even though the weather was bad, they left for their road trip. We can transform sentences using notwithstanding followed by a noun clause to convey the same meaning. For example, though I was ill, I completed the project on time. So, this sentence can be written like this: notwithstanding my illness, I completed the project on time. So, the first sentence can be transformed in two ways, with though also and with notwithstanding. And both they are showing contrast between two sentences, two ideas. Now let us see the use of relative adverb however. The relative adverb however followed by an adjective or adverb can be used to express contrast. The meaning of however is same as but only the difference is however is showing the contrast in bit of softer manner, and it can sometime even be used to suggest or alternative or solution to the contrast, how to bridge the gap and contrast of the sentence. So let us see one example to clarify it. However difficult the problem, you should never give up. So this sentence means that even if the problem is very difficult, you should not give up. Let us see one more example. Even if she screams very loudly, she will not be able to hear her. So this sentence can be transformed as however loudly she screams, she will not be able to hear. So the meaning of however is bit softer than even if. Now let us see the use of absolute participle. Absolute participle means when the participle and the noun that comes before it together forms an independent clause. This structure is often called an absolute phrase. An absolute phrase or participle followed by a noun clause can be used to express contrast. For example, the wind blowing hard. So here the blowing hard is absolute phrase. The man did not turn up his collar. This sentence means that even though the wind was blowing hard, the man did not turn up his collar. So when the meaning is retained, so we can write down the sentence like this also. Though she means well, should we follow her advice? Question mark. This sentence can be transformed as admitting she means well, should we follow her advice? So here admitting is showing absolute participle. Now let us see the use of conjunction as. Conjunction as can be used to express contrast, or we can use as when one event happens while another is in progress. For example, talented as she did not perform well on the stage. So this sentence means that even though she is talented, she failed to perform well on the stage. To retain the meaning of the same, for example, though it was sunny, we decided to stay indoors. This sentence can be transformed as sunny as it was, we decided to stay indoors. Now let us see the use of relative pronoun whatever. As a relative pronoun, whatever introduces a relative clause. For example, he refuses to work whatever I may say. So here whatever is showing contrast between two sentences or ideas. Now let us see the use of phrase all the same. The phrase all the same means in spite of or though. For example, he is strong, all the same he is timid. So this sentence can be written like this: though he is strong, he is timid. Another example, I am rather tired, all the same I shall go. The same sentence can be written like this: though I am tired, I shall go. So the meaning of all the same is though, in spite of something happen. Now let us see the use of conjunction even if. The conjunction even if can be used for emphasizing that a particular situation will remain the same no matter what happens. For example, I will go even if you forbid me to. So the meaning of even if is even though, means in spite of. This sentence means that I shall go even though you forbid me to. That's all about transformation of sentences that expresses contrast or condition using different ways. So now let us learn how to interchange one part of speech with another. Means how to replace noun with verb, or adverb with verb, or adjective with noun. So this we will learn. The same word or the basic idea can exist in several different forms. For example, the word success is a noun. It has two other forms: successful, that is adjective; succeed, that is verb. By using different forms of the same word, we can express the same idea in several different ways. To clarify it, let us see few examples. Number one, he succeeded in his attempt. So here the word succeeded is here verb. So the sentence can also be expressed as he attempt was met with success. So here success is noun. Or we can write down his attempt was successful. Successful is here adjective. So like this we can present our ideas in different several forms. Let us see some more examples to clarify it. Respect your parents and teachers. This sentence can also be expressed as be respectful to your parents and teachers. So here respectful is adjective. Sometime what we are doing to make adjective, we are putting ful, full, at the end of the word. Show respect to your parents and teachers. So here respect is noun. Let us see one more example. She works diligently. So here diligently is adverb. Whenever we have to make adverb, we are putting ly at the end of the word. She works with diligence. So here diligence is noun. Number third is it is obvious that he hides something from us. So here obvious is adjective. So it can be written like this: he obviously hides something from us. So here obviously means adverb. Number fourth, the man was shot in the head and died in an instant. So here instant is noun. It can be written like this: the man was shot in the head and died instantly, ly. So it means adverb. Number fifth, she was seemingly convinced. Seemingly is here adverb. So it can be written like this: she seemed to be convinced. So here seemed is verb. Number 6, the farmer was apparently a fool. Apparently is here adverb. It can be written like this: the farmer appeared to be a fool. So appeared is here verb. So whenever you will transform the sentences from verb to adverb, or adverb to verb, or noun to adverb, or adjective to adverb, so you should know the meaning of these all parts: adjective, adverb, verb, noun. Only then you are able to make. So here I am sharing a table with you that how you can change a word from noun to verb, verb to adjective, or adjective to adverb. For example, if the word beauty is a noun, if you want to change it into verb, so it will be beautify. In adjective, beautiful, and in adverb, beautifully. Basically in adverb, what we are doing, we are adding ly at the end. Fine. So this you have to learn by your heart. So this is the end of your chapter. Students, you have to complete your homework on the basis of the chapter explained by me. And your homework is revise chapter 24, that is transformation of sentences, from the book or video, and based on the understanding of the topic do exercises mentioned in the book PC Red's Grammar as exercise number 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17, which is on page numbers 132 to 141. Students, you have to complete these exercises in your English Fair notebook. That's all for today. This is the end of the chapter. Students, if you like our videos, then hit on the like button and don't forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you and have a nice day.